Hello there, and welcome back to ArcTanGent 2024. And you're here with Devolution magazine for Devlog. And I'm here with Jesse from the incredible Ken Mode. Hello. I found out something interesting about your band today. I always wondered about the name, because I'm not a gamer. I gather this is a gamer thing.
No.
Is it?
No.
No. Is it Kill Everybody Now?
It is.
Right. Someone said to me, oh yeah, that's gamer thing. It's been going on for ages.
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all. And I know the gamer thing has been following us since we started this band too.
Right.
But yeah, it's quite literally from Get in the Van. Henry Rollins' book on Black
Flag. I should know that. I read that on my first tour.
Yeah, that was high school reading for me. And I thought,
yeah,
him stating that, like, yeah, when the My War album came out and they were finally able to tour again, we were in Kill Everyone Now mode. We were in Ken mode all the time. Like, 17-year-old me was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Well, absolutely. Look, 17-year-old me thought so as well.
I just never broke the goddamn band up, so it's been haunting us ever since. All these fucking Ken and Barbie and the video game Street Fighter. It's
yes, I see. Well, honestly, I do think any young band should actually read Get in the Van before they do their first tour. It's the best reading. And so lower your expectations a little. Yeah.
I think a lot of young bands, especially because of social media, it's fucking them up. They all expect that they should be in like buses and be getting treated really well. Touring is eating shit. Absolutely eating shit. We couldn't afford hotels since we were almost a 20-year-old band.
Yeah.
How fucking pathetic is that?
I know. It's a lot of airports. It's a lot of coaches. It's a lot of vans and sleeping in truck stops.
Yep. It's not glamorous.
Well, it's character building, though, I believe.
I hope so.
Like, make some good music anyway. Yeah. Getting on to good music. Your last two releases, Null and Void.
Which technically are part of
the same thing. Yeah. That was my question. Was it all recorded as one and then split in half?
Yeah.
We
wrote them all during the same period, recorded them in the same session, and then had to figure out how we were separating them. They kind of just so happened to split easily in terms of material that was written in 2020 versus 2021. Right. So it ends up being like our perspective of the pandemic kind of bubble in itself. So.
Yeah, it was a startlingly great record for me because I got it to review, and one thing that obviously jumps out is the saxophone in it, and I'm like a big fan of John Zorn, and so when I heard those sax parts, I was like, oh, that's so cool, because these days it's like everyone's looking for like new ways to be brutal and whatnot. It's like it's been done. Like trying to think of other ways to expand your sound, and that seems to be a very cool way to go.
That's funny. I was actually just in the last interview talking about it, that apparently there's like 6 bands that have saxophone on the fest.
Right.
But he was saying that we're the only ones that are using it like a weapon.
Yes.
And that is something I've noticed. Like, I don't understand why bands in heavy music are using it as like, well, I guess I do understand why they'd use it as a melodic instrument, but like, you're in a fucking metal band.
Yeah.
Use it as a weapon.
Yeah, man.
All the jazz greats used it as a fucking weapon.
Yep.
That's where we're coming from. That's why I wanted it in this band.
Yeah.
It's such a missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's so much more brutal than some dude up there.
Yeah. And it's startling. It just jumps out the mix at you. And it's like...
Because it pierces through all those guitar tones. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, and it's on a whole different frequency, so it really jumps out. So I sort of grown up around a lot of experimental music, and so there was a record shop I used to work at, now Records, God rest her soul. And we did have like a improvisational jazz like bit, and like, I have to admit, I have to be in the right mood, but when I'm in the right mood, I'll be in that mood all day, and I'll just devour that stuff, man.
I love throwing on just like fucked up jazz from like stuff like Pi Records in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Just playing that all day while I work in the background. Like, clearly very healthy.
I feel the same way about certain electronic racks as well. It's like, so what's the rest of the year look like for you? Because you just finished a mini tour with Baroness, right?
Yeah, we did 4 dates with Baroness on this run, 5 shows with Author and Punisher, and 2 with Imperial Triumphant.
Wow.
And then we did 1 solo, and then we're here, and then we fly home.
Right.
And then we do like 3 or 4 shows in Western Canada. Then we're doing 2 weeks with Hyde in the US and Canada. And then we're going to rest for a while.
Yeah, you've done it.
We've been doing a lot of touring, a lot of fests. We're like not a full-time band, so we try to get out like 6 weeks a year, but it's been a little bit more than that lately, which makes our day jobs a little trickier.
Yeah.
But I need to write new material. I haven't done anything since I finished those 2 records, and that was 3 years ago now, and my brain's not well because of that.
But you've been around some inspirational people. I should imagine. I mean, I would have loved to have seen you and Author and Punisher. That's
they were cool.
That's
cool
2
shows.
ends of the extremes. That's brilliant. That's such a well curated bill.
Yeah, all the shows on this tour have been really, really cool.
Yeah, man. And it says something about your band that you could support someone like Baroness on one hand and Author and Punisher on another hand.
Yeah.
You know, it's that fluidity and also the fluidity of music in general at the moment, like you see at ArcTanGent, that just how many different types of music are on this bill. Yeah.
I think fests like this we fit in very well because like we don't do one thing. So that's when it's a fest that's full of all these bands that are all these different genres. We couldn't be more of a quintessential style for that.
Yeah.
Even though we're like hyper aggressive, but like it's not like we're a fast band or just a mid-paced band. Like we're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So
yeah, another thing I really find refreshing about your music is like, I mean, I harken back to that record shop I worked in. It was like 1993, and there was a lot of great noise rock, and they called it noise rock back then.
Yeah,
they don't really call it that anymore. It's just, I don't know, post metal or something they'll call it now. But you know, coming out of Alternative Tentacles and stuff like that, and you remind me of that period. Like the best parts of that period, like you know,
like
Kiva.
A lot of the more cutting stuff, like Today's the Day on AMRAP.
Absolutely, and it's like you say about like nastiness. I think a lot of bands these days think they're nasty, but if you listen to some of those old like No Means No things and stuff like that, you know, that's nasty.
And that's the thing; they think they're nasty, but they're pedestrian.
Yeah,
they need to dig a little deeper.
Yeah,
try a little harder.
So, you guys from Canada. And are there any other great Canadian acts we should be keeping our ear to the ground for?
Right now? Oh, shit. I'm trying to think of bands that I like legitimately listen to a lot.
There's a lot of great music's come out of Canada for me, like Cancer Bats.
Yeah. I mean, the classics like Voivod.
Oh, yeah.
Gorguts is working on new material.
Really? That sounds cool.
Fucking legends.
Absolute legends.
It's funny how they were underappreciated when they started their shift, and then when they came back, it was when there were all this new crop of bands that all were worshiping them, and they came back and just crushed everyone.
we invented this shit, man.
Yeah, and we're still the best. So it's great that they're still going.
Yeah.
I don't know, friends of ours like Wake.
Yeah, Wake are heavy. Love that band.
Ancients just came back. Who else? My brain's not quite right now, so I'm going to end up forgetting about people. Bear from Ontario, Vile Creature. There's a Thrace from Calgary.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the Canadian music scene, I've always really enjoyed it because it's always had a different way of thinking to the American music scene. It's always a little more cutting edge, I think. Especially when you think of bands like Archspire, like in the tech death scene, and like, you know, and then Counterbat's like their version of punk rock just sounded better than everyone else's version of punk rock, you know. So yes, absolutely. Well,
Counterbats are a funny one because like they went over really well in Canada and Europe, especially the UK.
Yeah.
But for some reason, America just never picked them up.
No. Strange one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always an anomaly when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
I know there's a decent number of Canadian bands where it's kind of that situation.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, there are other bands that have to make it in the US first.
Yeah.
Which I know we've struggled more in Canada and Europe
Right.
and do better in the US.
Yeah.
Which is just, I don't know.
It's the luck of the draw, I guess. Although you award winning in Canada, you got an award, you got a Juno, which is best heavy metal.
Everyone knows it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, it's nice to put on
It's nice. It's on my mom's piano.
Yeah.
My mom and dad's piano, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, at least you can show to your mum and dad, say, look, You know, I
Yeah.
won an award.
I've accomplished something.
I know my mum ignores everything. No, edit that out.
I think my parents would be more proud of the fact that we keep accurate financial statements for this band.
Well, achievable goals.
They're both accountants, chartered accountants.
That's handy, actually.
Yeah.
Very handy.
Shane is one too, so.
Oh, even handier. So-
Oh, like most of our band is full of accountants. I do accounting. Catherine does accounting. Scott's the only non.
So your taxes are in on time and under budget.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute honour speaking to you today, mate.
Fucking A.
And yeah, I'll see you again soon.
Thank you very
no
much.
doubt.
Hopefully we'll be back sooner rather than later.